Hi, I am Beaver Buddy. What if every word you said turned into something you could actually see? This story hides a great moral that you'll only discover at the end. Far beyond the clouds and stars, there was a glowing planet called Verbalia, where every word spoken became a floating symbol that hovered in the air. In Verbalia, kindness looked like golden butterflies, laughter became bouncing jelly shapes, and lies dropped like dark ink stains on the ground. A curious creature named Tilo lived in the Valley of Echoes. Tilo had one big ear, one glowing eye, and a tail shaped like a question mark. Tilo couldn't speak, at least not like others. Instead of words, he only made humming sounds that turned into music, confusing everyone around him. Most of the villagers ignored Tilo. "He's strange," they whispered, as their words formed jagged gray cubes that floated above their heads and bumped into each other. Only one being ever tried to understand Tilo, Lira, a little cloud who could form shapes with her mist. She found Tilo's melodies beautiful. Lira would hover above him and twist into hearts, stars, and spirals, showing him that even unspoken feelings could still be shared. One day, the great silence struck Verbalia. All spoken words froze in midair, and no new words could be formed. The skies turned quiet and dim. Fear swept through the land. People tried to speak, but nothing appeared. Their thoughts stayed trapped, unshaped, and unseen. The wise elders said it was because of too many careless words, too many insults, too many lies staining the skies. Panic grew. The clouds of Verbalia began to sink, heavy with unspoken anger. Even Lira struggled to stay afloat. But Tilo, untouched by the curse, continued to hum. His musical vibrations danced in the air as glowing waves that made people stop and watch. Slowly, the waves formed glowing symbols, images of peace, memories, apologies. People began to weep, surrounded by their old words frozen mid-air. Tilo's melodies reached the Heartstone, a giant orb in the sky that pulsed with the soul of the planet. It began to flicker with color again. Lira joined him, spiraling into his rhythm. Their duet created something Verbalia had never seen. Words and feelings blended into radiant patterns. Suddenly, people began to understand without speaking. They touched each other's floating words gently, watching them melt into light. The frozen words in the sky began to fade. The dark ink blots cracked and turned into butterflies. The gray cubes softened into feathers. Tilo had no idea he was saving the planet. He just did what came naturally, singing what he felt inside, without expecting anything in return. But then came a twist. Verbalia didn't fully recover. The Heartstone began to crack. It had absorbed too much pain from the old words. Only one voice could heal it. The first word, the original sound that had shaped the planet long ago. But no one remembered what it was. Until Lira, floating quietly, released a shape from her mist that looked like a spiral opening to a star. Tilo's eye widened in recognition. He hummed a new melody, so soft and ancient, it felt like sunrise. As he sang, the planet paused, and every living being held its breath. The Heartstone glowed, absorbing the melody and the shape. It pulsed once, twice, and then exploded into millions of golden fragments. But instead of destroying the planet, the fragments rained down as seeds of new words: honest, kind, patient, forgiving. People gathered these seeds and planted them in their villages. Tiny plants grew, each one humming with soft colors and meaning. Tilo had brought back something Verbalia had lost long ago. Not just words, but connection without noise and truth without shouting. From that day on, the villagers didn't just talk, they listened. They let their words bloom slowly, watching what they became. Lira and Tilo visited village after village, teaching through silence and sound, reminding others how to speak with their hearts first. And though Tilo still never said a single word, his music filled the world more deeply than any sentence ever could. Moral: true communication isn't just about speaking. It's about understanding, feeling, and using words that grow kindness, not hurt. See you soon with more magical adventures wonderful places, and heartwarming tales with Beaver Buddy.